Our reaction was excitement. We're all around here excited about Mike coming home and playing in front of the home crowd and members of his family and his former teammates and coaches. We're all excited about it.
Was it a surprise to you at all as he kind of, went through some free agency and the Falcons popped up on the list?
Well, around here, we all we love Mike Davis. I mean, Mike comes by and sees us when he's in town. He plays with the same intensity that he played with in high school, and he's just a great guy overall. I mean, not just a very good football player, but he's a very good person too.
As you watched him, especially this last year, as he got a lot more, time on the field with the Panthers, what stood out to you? And did anything, stand out to you as far as, that's what I saw at Stephenson, that's the kid that I coached?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of similarities. He hadn't changed much. Michael is a combination of power, speed, quickness, and then he has a great mind for the game of football, especially playing a running back position. So, Michael can do a lot of things very well, and I don't know why, he hadn't been moved up to some of the, more legit running backs in the NFL, but, he doesn't have very many flaws. Blocks well, catches the ball out of the backfield, runs good, team player. He carries all the attributes that you need to have to be good at what he's doing.
And you taught him all that, right?
Everything he knows.
Obviously, the Falcons have had a lot of trouble at the running back position, and Todd Gurley is their last guy who's now in free agency, just after not surprisingly a down year with all of what's gone on with his knee. But last year for Davis, even though it's been a few years in the league, kind of seems like it was a breakout year for him. He actually had an opportunity to play. Do you see it that way? Do you see last year being something that can actually catapult him to a more consistent career?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I thought, you hate for anybody to get hurt. And then when McCaffrey went down and Michael had an opportunity to be on the field more, we saw some things that we saw when he was here with us. And I was just talking to one of our coaches, Coach Sellers, this morning, and it's time for Michael to put himself really out there on the map. And I hope the Falcons give him that opportunity.
So to do that, is that something that he has to do to prove himself, or is that just having that opportunity like he hopefully has in Atlanta?
Well, it all starts up front. So it depends on what they do, the Falcons do with the offensive line. But Michael has the tools to become an elite back in the NFL. The place that he's been, they were trying to play two backs and in some cases three backs, and he kind of got lost in the rotation a lot of times. But I think if the job is given to him, Michael could be a 3-down back because he can do what you need for him to do on third down, and he can also carry the ball and block and protect the quarterback. So I think it's a great move by the Atlanta Falcons, and I think the people who have not really seen Michael play are going to be pretty excited about what he can do.
I don't know how familiar you are or if you know Arthur Smith, but do you think that's also a good combination for Davis with Smith, who kind of is that offensive guru?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think Michael fits into anything that you would want him to do because he's so versatile. And, I think that the Falcon staff has looked at that. And, he can do, like I say, he can do all the things that you want him to do. So I think a great move on the Falcon part of picking up what I think is an elite back in the NFL.
How much time do you spend around Mike these days, or, before maybe the pandemic? Did you see him often?
We crossed paths. Michael will stop by the school, especially in his early years in the NFL. And, you can follow him on Facebook and Instagram. I follow him on Instagram. And that's how we pretty much talk and keep up with each other because, Michael family pretty much lives on the other side of town. So when he's in town, I'm sure he's spending a lot of time with his mom and the rest of his family. So, but we love to see him when he comes by.
What can you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just saying we love to see him when he comes by. And anytime our former players come by, we give them an opportunity to talk to our players and it just kind of motivate them in terms of what it takes to get to where Mike is now.
Which I'm sure for you is all the time with how many players you have coming out of your program.
Yeah, we've had quite a few. We the thing that all of them have in common is, they never questioned what we were doing. They worked hard. They set a good example for our young kids, and they're just good, loyal people. And I think that's one of the things that helped them get to where they are, not just being great football players, but you got to be able to communicate and get along with people who's in your locker room and the people who are trying to coach you to do the things that you need to do to get better.
Last one for you. What is kind of the message that he brings when he talks to your players, whether it's about work ethic or just perseverance, as somebody, who's had to kind of prove himself in the league despite, how successful he was in high school and college? What is his message to your guys on that?
Well, I think his message has always been, follow the lead that the coaches are giving you. Because, we're not going to ask you to do more than what we think you can, but we're going to ask you to do as much as that you can. And, he talks to them about being good teammates. He talks to them about being loyal and just give it all work as hard as you possibly can. The NFL is not going to come for everybody. But Michael, I think if he wasn't an NFL player, he would still be successful at whatever he decided to do. And I think that's the kind of mentality we try to breed in all our players when they come through. We know we have a lot of talent, or have had a lot of talent, and but it takes something different. It takes something special. And a lot of times, being humble and giving and willing to sacrifice are some of the things that these guys, we kind of breed into them. And I think that's helped them along the way to overcome any obstacle that they may have had on their way to the NFL.
So Mike could be the number one guy for the Falcons. Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, if he's not, there's going to be a lot of disappointed people around here. And I think he can. I know he can. And just given the opportunity, if he can stay healthy, Michael could be one of those guys that runs for 1,800 yards and have 700-800 yards receiving and all the other good things to go along with being a great back.